Hi everyone. I want to talk about the difference between claw hand and ulnar paradox, which are typically challenging topics in clinical anatomy for a lot of medical students and PA students. So let's begin with claw hand. Claw hand refers to a ulnar nerve lesion at the level of the wrist, and it results in hyperextension of the metacarpal phalangeal joints and hyperflexion of the interphalangeal joints at digits 4 and 5. So the hand will look something like this. So we want to answer the questions, why is there hyperextension of the MCP joints and why is there hyperflexion of the IP joints? Okay, so hyperextension occurs because the extensor digitorum muscle is unopposed. Well, what's normally opposing it, which are the lumbricals and the interossei, which are normally doing flexion of the MCP and extension of the IP joints. Why does hyperflexion occur? That's because FDS and FDP, the anterior forearm flexors, which are normally doing this action, are unopposed. Well, what's normally opposing them? Same thing, lumbricals and interossei. So they are normally extending the IP joints. In order to understand claw hand, you must have a thorough understanding of the actions of extensor digitorum, FDS, FDP, interossei, and lumbricals, as well as their innervation. To summarize quickly, claw hand presents with hyperextended MCP joints and hyperflexed IP joints at digits 4 and 5. Hyperextension occurs because extensor digitorum is unopposed due to the lack of lumbricals and interossei. If we want to be specific, we should say lumbricals 3 and 4. Hyperflexion is the same idea. FDS and FDP are unopposed because lumbricals 3 and 4 and interossei are knocked out. For a ulnar paradox, the ulnar nerve is now lesioned at the elbow. So the hand, instead of looking like this, will look something more like that. So the hand is relaxed. So the hand will look prettier. So the higher the lesion, the better looking the hand, but functionally is worse. If we lesion at the elbow, we lose innervation to flexor digitorum profundus. So the hand, which is normally clawed, relaxes a little bit. So the main takeaways from all this are claw hand is a distal ulnar nerve lesion at the level of the wrist. Ulnar paradox is a proximal ulnar nerve lesion at the level of the elbow. Claw hand looks worse, but functionally is better. Ulnar paradox looks better, but functionally is worse.